カンガルーの死は、事故は、なんか、まるで、ウルルが僕たちを来るのを拒んでるみたいに感じた。で、そっから、ウルルでは、たくさんの星が見れて、日本では経験できてしたことないことをすごい経験させてもらった。
当たり前の話だと思うんですけど、国内外問わずお客さんが1人だろうが1000人だろうが、そこに居合わせた人がパームのライブを見るのはもう二度とないかもしれないし、僕らもその人たちの前でライブをするのは最後かもしれない、だからどんな状況でライブするときも常に今日が自分の人生最後のライブだと思ってやってますね。
Music for me was always more so the creative process, not playing live. That was usually my least favourite part of being in a band. Being an anxious person, I really hated being up on stage.
Our energy and audience energy is we crash. So very fun, yeah.
Not to put a negative spin, the fact that Palm was so good, it sort of one, it made us play really well, but also it was kind of like, should we still be doing this? Like, and getting our asses handed to us by a really rad band.
In terms of a normal tour, I suppose a normal Australian tour would start at the top or the bottom of the East Coast and work its way up or down, and then it would be over. Whereas we sort of started in the middle, worked its way up, and then inland, and then towards the bottom of the East Coast, and then right down, and then right the way back up, way past where bands would normally go. So I reckon we've done 3 to 4 times the amount of kilometres that a regular Australian tour would go, and I think it's pretty awesome because people in rural communities got to see Palm rip people's faces off, and got to experience a secret death of a few people that were interested in us, so pretty crazy.
A tour like no other, bonded by a love of extreme music. This gathering of musicians assembled to perform their art to the far reaches of the Australian continent, playing shows not only in cities, but remote country towns and indigenous communities as well. Different cultures coalesce under the guise of scorched highways and gleaming city freeways. 4 Japanese men join 6 Australian men to tour Australia's vast land. Presented with daunting touring conditions, whereas Japan's usual daily routines are connected by train lines, not cattle lines.
I don't know, I just got here, dude. I walked in, there was a heap of Japanese blokes smashing the fucking joint up. Then I walked out into the green room accidentally. Now I'm stuck out here, so now I'm going back into the inside here.
When we first met them was in Sydney, and we got the rental, we drove around, and it was really quite surreal hearing how much English they had. I was quite taken back by how much they had. Like, previous to that, we were communicating with Toshi over email, and we were reading his broken English thinking, fuck, here we go, like, this is going to be a bit of a debacle. I'm not going to know what the hell they're fucking talking about. When we picked him up, I think it was Kenta that made contact the first. He probably, arguably, has the best English. And the way he uses his expressions was really funny as shit. I remember, like, do you remember being in Sydney and he said, we were around the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and he was like, fucking park ranger.
We'll take you down to the opera house, okay?
Okay. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, Ranger.
Thank you. Fuck you. Fuck you, sir, Ranger. Hurry up, Ranger.
What's your favourite beer? I don't drink.
Oh,
I don't.
You don't drink?
Yeah, weak. Very weak.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Do you know, don't drink alcohol?
29 is
Who get eaten first?
I think I was aware of what Kenta's humour was like. I saw them play in a show in Osaka, and I went backstage to see them, and Kenta was naked. So I knew to expect that.
Yeah, playing with Palm is fucking amazing. Those dudes are like nicest, fucking most amazing musicians, most fucking raddest dudes ever. And we're a bunch of social miscreants we can't really fit in, and these guys who can hardly speak English are fucking doing a way better job than us already, you know.
Cheers! Kanpai!
クレイジーでもとりあえずまたオーストラリアに戻るっていうかオーストラリアに来てライブするだけですごい嬉しいし、そうやって呼んでくれてるってことですごい感謝してるから、別にクレイジーとすごいほんまに終わって初めてやっぱり来てよかったなと思うし、最高のツアーでした。
Playing with Palm as well. I mean, that's such a tight band. It always got us that sort of nervous energy that we wanted to be better and play well.
They gave it 100% every time, and it was quite intimidating. Playing show after show with them pushed us to be better. Toshi is just an unstoppable force. He's one of the best performers I've ever seen, and does not falter once.
Yeah, I think A Secret Death playing with Palm, it definitely highlighted their weaknesses as a band. If they had a bad night and didn't play a great show, it would kind of stand out because Palm consistently played great shows no matter what the conditions. But you look at it, and Palm have had a steady lineup for probably like 4 or 5 years now. They practice twice a week and they have that Japanese discipline, whereas The Secret Death kept changing lineups. They hadn't jammed properly as a full band in ages. But I think that almost any Australian band, if you chuck them on a tour with Palm, would make them go, shit, like maybe we should spend some more time in the practice room. Like,
Palm do and did. So for anyone it would have been a tough comparison to be up against any night. But the good thing was it didn't become like competitive or anything, and the Secret Death dudes knew that Palm were just like a next level band, and I think it made them want to be better, and as the tour went on they did get better.
オーストラリアでライブして多分僕らのこと知らない人たちもいっぱい見てくれたと思うんですけど、やっぱいいライブしたら それなりに反応してくれて、良くない時は多分良くないと思うし、でもそれでもライブ終わった後にマーチいっぱい買ってくれて、前ら最高やったみたいなみんな言ってくれるんで。純粋なんやなと思いましたね。日本にあったらあんまり思ってても直接言わないと思います。表現はオーバーなのかもしれないですけど、そういうお客さんの反応を聞けて僕はすごい嬉しかったですね。
I'm very excited before tour, and after this tour, I feel Secret Death is very good band.
でもみんな人もめっちゃみんないいやつで、今回一緒にツアー回れて僕はすごい良かったと思います。はい、また日本に来たら一緒にツアーしたいバンドですね。
The first leg of the tour had finished. Palm set off to play some shows in Perth whilst a Secret Death went their separate ways. The band was riding on a high note. However, the flight west led to some lost luggage. The road case with all of the camera equipment used for this documentary had been lost in transit from the Gold Coast.
Fuck your purse.
The weary group set off to the guest house supplied by the band Vanity, without the cameras or the saved footage from the tour so far. After a fruitless day of contact with the airline, a more forceful campaign to find the gear was launched on social media. After days of miscommunication, a resolution came with news that the camera equipment had been found. Back on track, Palm regained their momentum, although to a mixed reception from the West Australian punters. Palm vocalist Toshi had high expectations of his own performance, which greatly affected him. He was very critical of himself, and visibly devastated if the performance was not up to his standard. All day he would be quiet, and after a good show, he would light up. It was apparent, however, that each show was a battle to win the attention of the audience, one person at a time. band set off to Alice Springs, the heart of Australia, to rejoin with their tour mates and start the trek to Santa Teresa, a remote Indigenous community and home to the band Southeast Desert Metal. Just prior to the flight, news had been received that the show had to be cancelled. A death had rocked the community, which had now been locked down to go into the Indigenous people's time of mourning, known as sorry business.
There was a death in the community which resulted in it having to be cancelled, unfortunately. It was an unfortunate event, but Pirate managed to pull together a gig at the last minute at the ACCC car park. And it was actually broadcast live to air, and they had some free food for everyone, and there was probably, plenty of people just walking past, and they'd be like, what's going on here, and pop their head in for a bit, and it was crazy. It's something I never thought I'd see happen, like these dudes getting an encore in a car park and then starting a circle pit in a car park in the middle of Australia. It's bizarre.
Yeah, you're going to have to explain the term circle pit to the uninitiated.
It's kind of a thing. Fast parts happen in metal and hardcore and punk songs and stuff where people just run around in circles and push each other around, and it's a bit of a gallop. Toshi, the vocalist, he's a big fan of telling people to circle pit, so he'll be like mid-song or as a song's starting just going, circle pit! Circle pit! Circle pit! Circle shit! Suck up shit! Suck up shit! Suck up shit up, please! Please!
Where should I sit?
Probably up front. Well, you're not going to be able to sit in the back.
Two of you.
Yeah, I'll get one.
We got three in this car. Three? Yeah. Come jump in here, Loki. Jump in this one, bro.
ほんまにパイレーツ・オブ・カリビアンみたい、映画のパイレーツ・オブ・カリビアンみたいなやつが来たなと思って海賊みたいやなと思ってたら、名前聞いたらパイレーツって言われて、そのまんまやなでも喋ってたらめっちゃいいやつやったし、すごい気遣いもしてくれるし、ほんまにすごいめっちゃいい人やなっていうのが伝わって出会えてよかったな。
Hello, nice friend. Everything was fun. Yeah. Sweet weekend. Great. Yeah. Party. Really cool. Yeah. Always. Need a drink a lot up here.
My favorite town is Alice Springs. Yeah, Alice Springs is as a country. Everything so many different from Japan. There, every day listen metal and smoke weed, too much drunk. Yeah, so they are crazy. I love there. Yeah, they are very interesting. Yeah, so many different Japanese people.
Pirate's a good guy. He's a really intense dude, and I think he's super passionate about his stuff. Like out in a small town like Alice Springs, having a guy that is so into his scene and creating so much for doing so much for a place that has fuck all, bands coming through and creating a little scene that I don't know, he's just so passionate about creating music and giving something to his local people. I mean, it'd be so cool if people like that, in our towns, a lot of, I don't know, people get caught up in just bullshit that just seems to destroy more than create in the community. And it was so cool to go to Alice Springs and just see a passionate music loving community that no matter what, people are into it. And yeah, Pirates were fucking legend for creating that.
How are we? It's great to see you.
Would you like
outdoors, nature, rocks and trees, fire. Isn't it wonderful? Heavy metal, yeah, very good too.
That's
nature, rocks, trees, heavy metal, and beer. Some of my favourite things.
I'll tell you the story about how this all happened if you want.
Yeah, cool.
Alright, so back in April,
I came out, I believe it was April, yeah?
March 30.
Sorry.
Black and so good.
I came out to Alice to catch King Parrot because they were playing at Black in the Globe that Pirate organised, and when he heard I was coming, he's like, oh, you know, got in touch and sort of helped out a little bit on the day and got to know all the people and saw like a huge crazy show in a place that I didn't even know had metal like 2 months before that.
It's got a good scene. It's good to have it out here in the car park as well.
Yeah, it's been a
shifting around.
awesome little replacement.
Totally, man. Good
minute.
acoustics out there as well with asphalt bouncing off. Sounds really good down the back.
But I've been friends with these dudes from Palm since 2007. When they last came to Australia, and at the time I was organising their next Australian tour, and I was like, I need to bring them to Alice Springs. This is crazy, and I got in touch with Pirate, and he was into it, and now I can
from Palm. Yeah, tell us something.
Understatement.
Please give me sexy night.
Please give your sexy available ladies out there. What instrument do you play, man? Are you the main dude?
I'm drums.
Drums? That's even better, man.
Yeah.
What's on in your hands?
Yeah.
There's any available ladies, come down to the ACCC car park, outside broadcast special edition.
Kento is a sexy man.
Yeah, really, thank you.
Up a sexy time with the drummer from Palm, man. It's in and out, in and out.
Thank you so much.
You've got to be out here tomorrow, eh?
Yeah. No, Alice Springs gig tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah. No, this is
the Gap View Hotel.
Tomorrow's the main event. This is a bit of a warm up.
This is just the tip.
Yeah.
Before we hit you with the
I have already booked.
How many inches, man?
How many?
Yeah. 34.
Many times.
Many times. Inches. This is just the tip of Palm. You're about to hit the inches tomorrow night at the Gap View Hotel.
Yeah. Kento.
Yeah.
Tell them about your favourite new word that you've been your favourite new saying.
Can't. King of can't.
Yeah, that's good. Go ahead to the microphone over a little bit between us. Yeah. King of can't.
Yeah.
No.
My friend, my Australian friend.
Yeah.
Every can't.
That was the last track, and gee, that really rocked out. The car park down the ICCC is absolutely full. What a fantastic evening. Thank you so much to all the bands that played, and maybe something we can do again in the future.
It was awesome to play in the car park because people were there like walking through the where the crowd was standing to get their fish and chips, and that was kind of weird, but you know, they'd be walking out with their potato scallops and then stop for a few minutes and end up headbanging.
But hey, boys, fucking kakoi.
Yeah, thank you.
What course? First band's singer's name?
Extermission.
No.
Oh.
Singer's name?
Pirate.
Pirate. Hi, yeah, Pirate. Good? Yeah. Okay. Cheers. Pirates? Pirates?
Yeah.
Pirates?
Yeah.
Pirates of Caribbean?
Yeah.
Pirates?
Yeah, of Alice Springs.
パイレーツはもう本当に衝撃的でしたね。はじめアリススプリングスの空港に着いて、彼と彼のバンドのベースプレイヤーのデーブが空港に迎えに来てくれたんですけど、もう見た目がパンチありすぎて正直どうなるかなと思ったんですけど、本当すごいめちゃくちゃいいやつで、僕ら日本のバンドにもめっちゃいろいろよくしてくれて気使ってくれて、アリススプリングス見たのは2日間だけだったんですけど、2日ともめちゃめちゃパーティーしました。飲みすぎました。でパイレーツはい、すごいいい人です。また会いたいです。
Everybody get the fuck inside! This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. These guys have come all the way from fucking Osaka, Japan to play in Alice fucking Springs, your hometown. What the fuck are they doing here? They're here to fucking rock and they are fucking mental. Get in here, show them some fucking love and fucking go nuts, cats! This is PAM!
Kenta, Palm's drummer, and
tell me about your band.
My band style is punk, metal, hardcore, many elements include
Punk, metal and hardcore. How hard are you?
How hard?
How heavy?
Too much.
Too much heavy.
The gig at the Gap View, I think we had 6 bands playing, and the Southeast Desert Metal Boys, like all credit to them, ended up coming down because they wanted to show their enthusiasm and support for what we were doing at the time, and came down and played at the end of the show, and just did a really emotional, heartfelt set.
Looking forward for Japanese band to come into the community, but we had a good problem with the sorry business in the community. So we still caught up in Alistair and got a good people, you know, and they had fun with it.
Have you ever seen a band from Japan before?
No, not really.
Come out of spring. Come out of spring.
Yes. Hey, Ricky. Fucking shredding tonight, man. Nice work.
After celebrating late into the night, the boys began preparing for the drive to Uluru the next morning. On a whim, the group decided to leave earlier than planned and drive through the night so as to see the morning sun rise over the desert. The Stewart Highway connecting Alice Springs to the Great Rock is known to be a notoriously dangerous stretch of road. And for good reason.
Holy fuck. I didn't see it coming right. Oh, this is bad.
My heart is fucking pumping, hey.
That radiator's gone though.
All you lads alright, don't know, was it? Well, when we get to Dunda, we can tell them that you've hit the run and you're coming up, and then, I don't know, if they can send someone out down the road, because it wouldn't be that far, it'd only be just up the roads.
Before that happened, the incident, we were always talking about, like, I heard that there's kangaroos around, so what would happen just in case. And I think the fact that we mentioned, like, to Sam, if you see a kangaroo, don't swerve, otherwise we're all fucking dead. And then he didn't, so he pretty much he saved our lives in that sense. But I remember it was pretty fucking traumatic.
I'm very grateful that none of us were injured, and the only thing that was injured was the vehicle and Lachlan's bank account. But I feel really sad that I killed such an amazing animal. That's definitely the lowest point of this tour for me.
Must have been after an hour or an hour and a half. Some city dude was driving the car, and big kangaroo came out and smashed the shit out of the car. The camper van, and we got stuck in fucking Earl Dunda for about 7 hours waiting for a replacement tour vehicle to come down. And surprisingly everyone stayed in relatively good spirits. No one completely snapped. And we eventually made it to the rock. Had a pretty fucking cool experience down there.
Where the fuck? What the fuck has all that money just been spent on? This doesn't make sense because there's all these extra airfares that have been put on it. I don't know what the fuck they could be from.
最初ウルルに行った時に最初は全員で行動してたけど途中で俺だけファームの他のメンバーはシークレットデスのメンバーと一人のメンバーと違うルートに行ってジェイコブがわーわー喋ってるけどちょっとこう不機嫌になってきたりとかこれほんまに帰れんのみたいなやってんのを見ながらでもみんなでこう
I was stressing out about Toshi and he was fine. I was like, man, we're separated from everyone and you're with us and Jacob.
Freedom! Freedom! Cancer! Fucking gadget!
神に会ったって言ってたと思うんだけど、どういうところがそういう
自然がすごい大きすぎて自分がすごい小さく感じてしまったから
でジェイコブはでも帰った後にこういう感じで回ってお前良かったかって言われていや俺はめっちゃ最高楽しかったよって言ってたけどジェイコブは楽しくなかったあんまり楽しくなかったって言ってたから
なんでやねん
なんでやねん
なんでやねんじゃあミス
なんでやねん
なんでやねんいやthis one なんでやねん
なんでやねん
いや good
Is it a joke?
joke yeah joke no nothing なんでやねんなんでやねんなんでやねんなんでやねんなんでやねん
Australian joke? Yeah. What did the three tampons say? Tampon? Girl?
Yeah.
What did the three tampons say when they were walking down the street?
Yeah. Three tampon?
Yeah, what did they say walking down the street? Nothing. They were all stuck up. Yeah, but stuck up means that doesn't translate.
Royal Towns are there ready to go at the start, but we sort of tended to scare them off. I think our music's a little bit less accessible than Palm and sort of stuff that they like to listen to, or that the support band's demographic brought. But yeah, in the capitals, I think A Secret Death do a lot better than the rural towns.
I think there was a time, I can't remember what show we were doing. What was a little town in, was it South Australia or maybe mid Victoria? Yeah, I just remember it was a shitty time to think. At that time I was sort of not really realising that the painkillers I was taking, I didn't have any painkillers, and I kind of realised I might be a bit, maybe it was a time where I was, realised that I was kind of needing painkillers a bit too much to get through the day, and that I remember that show was just really intense and just feeling really shit because of having such a bad back and being reliant on these stupid pills that, you know, I think that's kind of took a toll on me for getting into kind of a shitty state of mind. And it was awesome being around all my mates, and I remember just being a little dark cloud for that show. Yeah, it was pretty crappy, but yeah.
Hey guys, how you going? Where's Secret Death?
How old are you guys ready? Everyone's embarrassing. I'm ready.
That's about it. Yeah.
So Jacob fucked his back up.
Yeah.
And then we went to Tassie, and you had to play as a 4-piece.
Yeah.
How did you feel about going back to a 4-piece?
Yeah, that was kind of shit. It sucks because I was really looking forward to. We played the Melbourne show, Roller Tomasi, and that was really rad. And the fact that he couldn't come to Tasmania was pretty hard because we had the Reverend show with them, and then I should have said that was the best show because that was a whole bunch of people all coming together for a bunch of rad bands. Roller Tomasi played, and Totally Unicorn, all these awesome bands. It was really fun to be part of that. And the second part of that tour was the Brisbane Hotel in Tasmania, and yeah, it was really tricky. I mean, yeah, part of us wanted to just pack it up and not play any more shows if he was going to be out. We sort of had to make this decision to play only certain songs and play a shorter set, but yeah, it was really sort of dropped on our laps and we had to deal with it. Jumped off the stage and destroyed his back, even though people around him and physicians have all said don't do anything like that. And yeah, that's my only account to that, is he did something that he shouldn't have done and really fucked his back up. But
kind of depressing in a way, like that. It was a good time to leave, but for me personally, but having an injury like kicked me out. Well, having an injury and then, you know, saying I can't do this at the moment, it's kind of a bit sad.
I don't know if it affected anyone. Maybe I think Scott might have got a little bit anxious at times about members coming and going and whatever else, and Morgan being new. I don't know how Nathan felt. He seemed to kill it every night.
And to adapt to not having Jacob, they did really good. Apart from the show that I didn't see at the Bendigo Hotel. You think maybe by now, I don't know, what am I talking about? Jacob's a loose cannon. From all reports, that Bendigo Hotel show was an embarrassment. And part of me wishes that they had dealt with that a little bit better and maybe even Jacob could have just sat in a chair and played guitar instead of just not doing that and telling jokes or whatever he did.
Alright. I got nothing. It's a good thing we're playing a short set tonight.
It's Jacob. Jacob just does Jacob things. I asked him to sing backups for one song, but he held the microphone on for too long. He made it like a Secret Death / Jacob stand-up comedy show.
Well, I couldn't play guitar because I was in too much pain, and so I just pretty much was the hype man for that show. That was pretty fun. I pretty much did my my guitar parts, a lot of them, just by vocalizing them, which was really fun.
I think that was the low point on the tour for them. But generally speaking, real tight, real efficient, pretty used to the road, pretty used to member changes. He always was still very much a Secret Death.
We did relatively well. Like there was a bit of improvising when we got to bits that we were like, oh shit, there's supposed to be a lead part here, and we sort of had to cover it like just off the top of our heads. So that was really cool to do that, and then everyone got really drunk, and that was my favourite Palm show by far. And then the party afterwards was great. So Tassie was my favourite.
Anyway, let's play all the hits.
Jacob is 3.
all the time.
He's yeah. He's also 3.
That?
Yeah, I know.
Take painkillers, go to sleep.
Oh!
Yeah.
Peter?
Yeah.
An increasingly weary touring party continued to the southern parts of Australia. The rural shows gave an opportunity for the local communities to witness heavy music, generally confined to the major cities. Before heading north, a venue in Brisbane cancelled one of the scheduled shows, and an opportunity arose for Palm to do something that they had never done before: play a house show.
ブリスベンでは日本ショーをしたんですけど、1本目は普通のライブで、2本目もちょっと小さいイベントだったんですけど、ちょっと急遽家でライブをすることになりまして、初めての体験で、僕らもこれ発表会みたいになるんじゃないかと思ったんですけど、すごい人が温かくて、こちらのレスポンスにもすごく応えてくれて、
別にステージがなくても照明がなくても純粋に音さえ出ればそれでいい。でそこで楽しむ人がいるっていうのはやっぱりバンドマン、音楽をしてる人にとって本来あるべき姿。でもそれはやっぱり普通にストリートで弾き語りしてる人とかだったりとかと一緒の形やから、なんかこう自分にとってすごい、やっぱり音楽ってこうあるべきやなっていうのはすごい。
ですごい距離が近いんで、僕ら的にはすごいおかげみたいな感じでやりやすかったんですけど、すごい一体感が出て、ライブ終わった後にもすごい良かったよって言ってくれたんで、すごく僕は嬉しかったし、貴重な体験だったなと思います。
fucking redo. Yeah, man, we're getting out of time.
基本的に日本のオーディエンスとオーストラリアのオーディエンスの人はもう絶対一緒だと思うんですけど、結構日本ではすごい音楽のスタイルとかを気にしてこう腕組みしてみたりとか、まあまあ僕ももちろんあるんですけど、すごいこっちの反応に対して、まあ、言葉が通じてない分すごいエナジーとかを感じてみんな反応してくれたりとか、基本こうみんな兄弟っていうような感じをすごいライブで感じて、こうやっぱりいいライブしてたらいい反応してしようとか、まあ、勝手にそうなると思うんですけど、そういうのを何回も感じれたライブだったなと思います。オーディエンス、まあ違いはそんなにないと思うんですけど、より素直な反応が得られるかなという実感はすごいありました。
We are 3 times and coming to Australia. We are so happy and very lucky. Thank you for appreciating it. Thank you.
You realize that sometimes you gotta do a fucking 20-hour stint of driving just to make it work. But yeah, that's the nature of Australia and the towns that separate.
Problems of my own.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Got a wife that doesn't love me.
Ah, okay.
2 kids. A mortgage. I'm fucking unemployed, man. Fuck you.
I'm sorry, so sad.
No, you're not.
So sad. This is so sad.
Yeah. When you come back next time? Is that another 5 years?
Please cut the
grass. Cut the grass. It'll be cut. We'll do it next week. Yeah, just for you. I'll send you a photo.
No, thank you.
Thank you, arigato!
A tour, born from a common ground and forged in a new terrain, giving everything that they have to reach the people who share the same love and passion for extreme music. This is Palm and A Secret Death.